Hey everyone, welcome back to iNVision Prototypes. I'm Nick. Like the title says, we have to get this trunk lid structure fitting to the back of the M40C. And in terms of where we stand right now, the quarter panels have been pinned to the roof as well as the rockers. The rear faces have been pinned to the quarter panels, and we're at a stage now where we're actually fitting this flange on the deck lid to the seal area. I have the cylinders off at the moment, so we're going to use this prop rod here, prop stick, and as you can see, been working this flange in. We had to add material to the bottom fascia, basically extend it up and in because there wasn't enough. When she was sitting outside, I didn't like the looks of this rear fascia. It was too flat. So I took it off, reshaped it, and gave it more curvature this way, which meant that we came a bit short on material here, so I had to add a 90-degree flange to pick up the seal. So these lines here, just ignore them for now. We're gonna be working on the seal area. We got some rubber seals, and we're working on this flange all the way around and matching it up to the body. I've been trimming back and kind of detailing the flanges because this little angle piece is what I was working with to determine how long of a flange we need for the rubber seal to sit on. So basically I started off with a 1-inch flange that came up, and I've been trimming it down until the seal, let's bend this down, sat just like that. So if it sat up here, that just wouldn't look right. It wouldn't look factory. So trimmed it down until it sat in the proper location. If you ask me what this seal came from, I don't know. We pulled it off the shelf in the back. We have enough to do this trunk perimeter, and well, that's what we're gonna be working with. So I have to take and transpose the length of this leg onto this flange here and trim that flange down until we have a similar leg, or the exact leg actually, on this here. And then at that point, the deck lid will sit down in the right location. This structure was calculated for a 5/8 leg. If the leg is too long, it's not going to sit right. So once all that's sitting in the right location, then we'll go around and kind of trim up and clean up these flanges, bend them in, bend them out, until it mates up perfectly with the body. I'm going to use this extended version of a prop rod. Kind of place it in there just like that. Earlier, I took a Sharpie and marked out the perimeter flange. And I've been grinding down, well, cut down first with a pair of tin snips, and then ground down, as you saw, until that Sharpie was totally gone. And now this leg is exactly the same length as this leg here. Get that into there. There we go. Oops, let's do that there. So we're sitting just about where we need to be. So we can get the seal and try it on. I've got 2 screws here. I'm going to put 2 small tacks on the inside so that we can get the seal to sit on over top of that. Okay, so I'm going to take these screws out. And those 2 tacks are enough to hold this rear fascia in place temporarily. Later on, when we go to work on this, I will have to take and cut those tacks to pull the rear fascia off. But for now, that's going to work. I'm going to get the seal and start running it into place. We're going to use 2 seals, one across the top, and then a separate one down around the perimeter here. And hopefully we have enough. Otherwise, we got to go digging some more. I got 2 seals here, and they are very close to being identical. Actually, I think this one did come off the Mustang trunk, and this one, I don't know what it came off of, but it will work. This seal here had a little bit of damage in it, right there. So had a bit of a split. So that's where we're going to cut it. And we'll work from there to determine how long of a seal we need, and then just trim back from there. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. We're going to put this down for a second. All this excitement. What I'm going to do is take and hammer out this flange, kind of even things out. Because when I was going along with the snips, it kind of got a wave to it. So we're going to take and clean that up with a hammer and dolly, smooth it out, and then we can get the seal on. There's a body feature that comes down around here. So we have to kind of sharpen that up a little bit. When this fascia gets finalized and welded to there, then we'll totally finish it off. But I just want to make sure that we have a nice consistent edge coming down from the top. I don't want it to waver and fit that to the wrong curvature. And that should be good. We should be able to get the seal on there. You guys will let me know if that's coming down, right? The seals have two directions to it. One has a kind of a flange that rolls out, and the other one has a flange that rolls down and inward. That flange that rolls inward catches the cosmetic panel inside the trunk. This other one redirects the water, or any water that lands on top, down and outward and outside of the car. So you don't want to reverse it. First, it doesn't look right. Second, it doesn't function properly. Okay, that's halfway. Go this way. And if our leg is a bit long, the flange is a bit long, we'll have to trim it down some more. But at this point, I just want to fit it. Gotta hold my tongue straight. Okay, good. Just a little bit of something there. Probably the adhesive that came with the seal. Now these will be all cleaned and glued. They're a little bit dusty. Our flange is still sitting, or our rubber is still sitting a little bit high on the flange. So we're gonna have to take and grind it down a little bit more. That little template I bent up, I bent it into a 90-degree angle. Here we have a surface that angles downward and runs away from the seal. So we will have to take and bring that flange down a little bit more. Okay, take two. Okay, let that cool off, and take and fit this perimeter flange to the body now. It's really close, but you know, 1/8 of an inch will make a big difference. A little more cutting. I'm gonna turn my back to you guys, sorry. I did add a piece on, and I came up to a weld. As soon as you put these through a weld, you'll dull them. So just use a grinder or cut-off wheel or something and take off that last little bit. What I'm doing right now is gapping this flange to the body. I've stepped in about 1/4 inch. And right now we're sitting all the way down. So I'm matching up that gap to this body this way as well, inwards as well as down. Now this deck lid is sitting a little bit to one side, to the right a little bit. So we're going to make an adjustment. Everything's fitting up all the way around the bottom. The sides are lined up. Our last thing to do is match up the top of that structure to that deck lid in the back there. And once that's done, then our deck lid is pretty much where it needs to be. Okay, that's really close there. We have to take the deck lid and turn it counterclockwise a little bit. We're a little bit out past the edge here, and we have a gap up there. It's little things you catch as you're working with it. Okay, much better. And that's good here. and that gap closed up at the front. Here we're good. We're right on right there. That's going to sit up a little bit higher like that. This edge is falling into place. You can see the profile here. This is the leg I was talking about. That goes out towards the outside of the car. This one here, it catches the interior molding, gives you a finished edge so you don't have a raw panel sticking up. So we're going to take and actually I'm going to cut this back a bit of an angle that way so it mates up with the rubber up there a little bit better once we get that one in. Okay, we're going to get the seal on now. Now they have a tendency to shrink over time, so I'm kind of bunching it up towards the top. And that way we have a separation here between the two panels. There we go. If I can get them to come together, let's put a screw in there. Much better. There. So by us bunching the panel up like this, or the seal up like this, if it does shrink, it won't come short from the ends there. A little bit snug there. We use a rubber mallet later on and kind of tap it into place. But for now, okay. I might take this leg here and stand it up just a little bit, and that'll close that gap in right there. The length of our leg is perfect. Just by being tipped in like that, it's rolling the seal over and giving us that gap that I didn't want. That's much better. Again, pull it up to the top. We're there. See, by us tapping this down, and when we put the adhesive in there, that'll hold that down, so we'll be okay. Let's try closing the deck lid, see what it says. Might be sitting too high. Wow, ha, ha, look at that. I can feel the little round bubble. When you compress your seal, you want to just come down to it. You don't want to mash it down and use that as your stop for closing whatever you're going to close. You want it to come down, make slight contact, and then have bumpers in place, stop bumpers that are adjustable to take up that little bit of space. But I can feel we're down on the rubber. I can hear it kind of squishing down. Aside from that, that's fitting in really, really, really nice. I'm quite pleased with that. Considering this is the first time we closed it. So there are a few things we need to adjust. This panel here needs to tip up a little bit on the quarter, and this one here might have to come in a bit. I'm not sure. It's something that has to be studied for a few minutes. Okay, let's get the top seal in and see what happens. Boy, I don't like the looks of that. Now, typically, these seals have a joint, and if you can find the joint, we can split it on that joint. There you go. There's a joint right through there. I don't know if you guys can see that. So we'll take and cut it right through there. You don't want to be looking at a joint halfway up your window seal or whatever you have. So if we can split it there. Now this seal has those watersheds both ways. We might have to find another seal. I don't know if I'm going to like the looks of that up there. But it has the same depth and same, at least one side of the profile is identical to what's there. So we're going to put it in, see how it fits. Okay, those will come together. You can always cut back on it, but you can't add to it once you've chopped it off. Well, that's coming in really well. Oh, yeah, not so well, or too long. I'm going to leave it a little bit long, just for fun. Oh. It wants to jump up. Once you put the adhesive on, it should be good. Probably won't close now. It closed. And see, that's... Get my microphone closer and see if you can hear the rubber seal. Hear the squeak? So we're good to go. Seal's making good contact all the way along. It's not binding against this leg here. Not hitting metal anywhere, which is a good thing. That was something inside rattling. Well, that's very good, and I'm really happy as to how that came out. We have basically one continuous seal from the top corner all the way down to that side there, one across the top. There's no water that's going to get into this trunk. If anything, we take and we can mold or glue the corner piece. They have little corners you can insert into the bubble, into the end, and you can join up the two pieces and kind of apply an RTV sealant to prevent any water from getting in. But I think with that sitting the way it is, we're going to be good. Well, that's all she wrote, guys. We've got this trunkless structure fitted to the body, fitted to the seal. Everything's making a nice contact, and that's pretty much it. So next step, latch. And that's where we'll probably incorporate the bumpers for the deck lid. We'll see. There's no real room on the sides. I didn't want to create little gussets with little protrusions sticking up. It just doesn't look good. So we'll just incorporate probably the bumpers into the latch area. I appreciate you guys watching. Please like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that little bell up there. It'll let you know next time we have a video coming out. Take care, guys.